Welcome back, guys. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the date range component as well as the moment.js library. So the date.js component is used to pick the check-in date and checkout date, and the moment.js is for the convenient of our date formats. So when you pick any date from the date component, that means date range, it will give the ISO date format. So with the help of built-in, that means vanilla JavaScript code, it is very difficult to change the date format in our React applications. So that's the reason we are going to use the moment.js library to manipulate the date formats, and for the picking of the check-in date and checkout range we are going to use the anti date range component. So first of all, I will show you the demo in my deployed version. So this is the local host. As of now we haven't implemented the filter section. So in this section we are going to start about the filter. So first of all, I will open my deployed version, share rooms. So this is one of the important lecture in this course, because the entire room booking application mainly depends on the filtering of the rooms based on the availability. So if you are perfect in this, you can build any application with the help of these date filtering components. Here you can see this is the deployed version. So I'm going to home page. So the rooms has been loaded. Now this is the date range component. So we are going to bring this component from the anti UI library. So we have number of date range components in the NPM. So I have used the simplest one, which is called as the anti date range. So this is the search rooms. As of now we can ignore it. So in this section we are going to learn about the room booking and the room availability based on the bookings. So here you can see when I click on this input field, it will give the date range. So this is the from calendar, this is the to calendar. So I will show you the demo once. So in my deployed version I have booked one room, this room in the dates 18 to 19, I think so. Let me show you that. So bookings. So here you can see from 18th to 19th, this first room spot on 37669. So this room is booked from 18th to 19th. Let's go to the home and get started. Here you can see this room is booked from 18th to 19. So if I select date range here 18 and 19, this room should be hidden. So here you can see the room has gone because it is already booked to a user. So that's the reason we should hide that if we select 18 to 19. Not only 18 to 19, if we select 17th to 19 also, that room should be hidden, because the 17 to 18 already 18 19 are there. So whatever the range it may be, if that range contain 18 and 19, that room should be hidden. So this is our logic, because a room should not be given to two persons on the same time slot. So that's the reason we have to hide that. So this is very complex topic which is called as the date room filtering. So you have to listen very carefully. So first of all, leave about this deployed version. So we are going to learn everything from scratch. So let me install the npm modules which are required in this section. So the first one is anti. So anti is complete UI library. So in this we have many components, but we are using only date range component. So first of all, you have to install anti. Npm install anti as well as the moment. So I'll explain about these two things in this lecture only, so don't bother. I'll explain everything from scratch. So if you want to see the documentation also, it will be available in their respected sites. So the first one is anti date range picker. This is the first one. So here you can see we have the anti date picker. Here you can see the first one we are going to use start date and end date. So if you click on it, it will give the from date to date. So if you select both the dates, it will gives the one object. In that object you can get both selected from date and selected to date. So this is the first npm module, and the second npm module is moment.js. So it is also one of the useful library in React applications. So with the help of this moment.js, you can perform any operations which are related to date and time. So you can convert any date to your like format, and you can convert any date to your respected time format or respected country format, anything. And you can also calculate the number of days between two dates, whether your current day is present in the given date slots or not. So you can do any operations with this moment.js. but we are using only three functions from this moment.js. So I am going to explain about 3. So if you want to implement some more, you can see it here. So these are all formats and related time, calendar time, everything. There are almost more than 200 functions are there in this moment.js. So you can use like your availability. So I hope those 2 npm packages install. Now I am going to restart. npm start. Here you can see the both npm packages have been installed successfully. So first I am going to write one section here. So in the container I am going to create one section. Div. So this is also class row. Class name is equal to row. So in this class row, first I am going to use dot call md 3. So 3 columns for the date range filter. So let's open the AND documentation to get started about this date range. So here we can see this is the AND date range. So you just need to write, if you want to check the documentation, just you need to click on it. So here you can see first you have to import the entity date range or date picker. So it is having the component like date picker. So copy the statement and paste it here, and after picking this you just need to write like this: const date range picker is equal to date picker. So you have to follow the documentation only. So we cannot write our own coding here because it is the AND component, so you have to write their code only. So after importing these 2 statements, you have to write this range picker. Where it is, yeah, put in the column d3, control S, that's it. So one more thing you have to do is you have to copy the entity CSS part also, because it is just a component. So we want entity styling for this component. So to copy the entity CSS, just click on this logo and click on the get started. So you have to, yeah, this is entity dist entity CSS. You have to import these also. Here you can import it. So in this home screen only we are using AND component. So in all other screens we are using the bootstrap for styling only. So we have the range picker in the bootstrap, but it is difficult and complex. That's the reason I am using this. So my PC is taking long time to reload. Let it reload. Yeah, it has reloaded now. Now let's go and refresh the page. So this is the sharooms dev. Refresh. Loading. Yeah. So here you can see I got one component. So I think we are getting some different component. Something mistake is there in our code. Let me check it. I think we forgot to add the control S. Press the control S after adding the CSS. So here we are adding the entity CSS. I don't know why. Yeah, now it should work. No error. Yeah, here you can see now we got the entity component. So if you click on start date, even you can get the check-in date and checkout date. So leave about the styling. Later we can add the styling for this component, and we are going to make this component like this at the end of the tutorial. Leave about the styling. So now I will add some margin at the top because it is stretching towards the navbar. So where it is, yeah, for this row I am going to add MT5. Yeah. So now we are having the entity date range component. So here to get the dates that we have selected from this component, we have a method called onChange. So you just need to call the onChange function, and in that onChange function you can call the any function in your application. So I will explain everything here. So first of all you have to select the format. So which format the date should look like. So I am going to select the format as DD YYY. So date, month, year. So this is the only format that we are going to use in the entire application. So remember this format. So if you want to use another format, you can use it, but I think it is the simple format, so I am going to use this. So now I am going to write on change. On change is equal to, I am going to call one function, filter by date. So this is the function I am going to call. So for this function, so the range picker will directly send one object parameter that is called as the dates. So now I am going to write function filter by date. So to this function, it will automatically send one object that is called as the dates. So this is an array. In this array, we are having two dates. The first one is from date and the second one is to date. So after selecting, I am going to print the dates in the console. Dates. That's it. Refresh the page. Open the console. Yeah, now select some dates. I will select date from 17 to 19. Here you can see we got two dates. So these dates are coming in the format of moment. So if you want to see the date in our selected format, here you have to use the moment.js library. So that's the reason I have said you have to use moment.js library. So it is very difficult to understand the selected dates in this format. So this is the from date, this is the to date. So the date which is at present at 0 index is called from date. That means this. And the date which is present at 1 index is called as the to date. This is 19. So if you expand this 0, you can able to see here date Thursday, June 17th. So if you want to see it in simple format, you have to use the moment.js library. Now I am going to show you that. So first of all, you have to import moment.js library. Import moment from moment. That's it. So now I am going to show simple format, dates in simple format. So we are getting dates in the dates of 0 and dates of 1. So first I am going to print moment of dates of 0 dot format. So here in moment we have the function called as the format. In that format you have to specify the format in which you want to display the date. So as I said, we are going to use only one format, dd yyyy, Control S. So this is the from date. Now I am going to write the same thing and I am going to change the index name 1. This is to date. Now let's see. Refresh the page. I am going to select from date is equal to 16 and to date is equal to 19. So here you can see we got the dates in simple format. 16 date 6 month year 2021, 19 date 6 month year 21. Here also you can see formats are same. So like this we can simplify the dates with the help of moment.js. So here the next step we have to do is we have to send these two parameters to the booking room. So booking room screen, after clicking on this book now, so then only you can able to add the from date and to date in the booking room. So here after selecting these two dates, we have to store these two dates in two states. So we are going to create that from date and to date, and we have to pass that from date and to date to the room component. So when we click on this book now, so here we have to display that from date and to date. So now I am going to do that. Let's go back. So first of all I am going to create two hooks, const from date to date, sorry from date set from date equal to, initially it is empty, and here I am going to write const to date, or you can also use check in and check out. From date to date set to date is equal to, it is also empty. Now here we are getting the objects here, moment of, so you have to use the same format and you have to update the states. Set from date you have to use this. From date will be present in 0th index, and copy the statement and paste it here. So here instead of from you have to use to. So I know it is little bit complex, but it is necessary. This is the hotel booking application, so you have to learn about these things. Yeah, so you can confuse here, so I will remove these console statements. That's it. So after selecting the dates, we are updating these variables from date and to date. Now you have to pass this from date and to date to the room component. So already we are passing the direct room object. Now I am going to pass from date equal to from date and to date is equal to date. That's it. And in the booking screen I am going to receive that. So already we have used the match. Now I am going to write. So here you can see in the booking details section we have written from date. It is empty because in that lecture we do not have these date formats. Now here I am going to write match dot params dot from date, and here match dot params dot to date. That's it. I hope it will work. Refresh the page. So now I am going to select some dates. I am going to select 21 to 23, June 21 to June 23, and I am going to book this OYO flagship. Book now. So here it is still empty. From date, sorry, here you have to pass that URL. So in the URL also you have to receive that. I forgot to change the URL. Where is app.js? Yeah, this is app.js. So the first one will be room ID, and the second one will be from date, and the third one will be to date. Like this we have to receive. And we also need to update one more thing. So in the where is room component, components, room. So already we are having the room, and add two more things from date, because we are already passing props from date and to date. So after clicking the book now button, we have to send these from date and to dates to the booking room screen. So where is book now button? Yeah, here it is. See, the link is, so initially we are sending only booking ID. So along with this booking ID we have to send from date as well as to dates. So I'm going to keep slash. So where it is, match dot, sorry, from date. So already we are destructured. From date slash dollar symbol to date. What happened? Add this backtick. Yeah, now it should work. We have an error. Sorry, this backtick should be present inside the curly brace. Yeah, now the error has gone. Compiling. So refresh the page. Let's select any one date, 17 to 22. Click on book now. So here you can see we got the URLs in the dates. So this is the room ID, this is the from date, this is the to date. So we are retrieving these URLs in our booking room component. From date is equal to 17th June 2021 and to date is equal to 22 June 2021. So max count. So here we need to calculate one more thing, total days. So with the help of these from date and to days objects, we can calculate the total days directly. So I understand it is very complex thing, but you have to, we don't have another choice, so you have to learn this. So it's very simple. Let me explain everything. So first of all, we are having the date component in the home screen. So after selecting the two dates, we are creating two variables, from date and to date, and we are allocating that dates to that variables. So for every room component, we are sending that dates. So when we click on the book now button, along with the room ID, we are sending from date and to date to the booking screen in the roots. So that's the reason it is showing like this. So here you can see it is undefined because we haven't selected any dates. So now I will select the dates 24 to 26 and I will click on in this OYO flagship. Here you can see 24 to 26. So now in this dates concept, we are left with only one thing, that is calculating the total days. So now I am going to write the variable or function for calculating the total days. So open booking screen. So this is the booking screen. Already we are having the two things, from date and to date. Where it is? Yeah, not booking screen. In the room component. Yeah, in the room component already we are having from date and to date. So you have two options. You can calculate the total number of days in this room component, or you can calculate the total number of days in booking screen also. That's up to your choice. So I am going to calculate the total number of days in the booking screen only. So first of all, I want to retrieve that parameters. So I am going to create const. I am going to retrieve everything from the URLs. Room ID equal to match.params.room ID, and const from date is equal to match.params.fromDate, const to date is equal to match.params.toDate. Now I am going to create one more variable, const total days equal to. So here we are going to use the moment again. So to calculate the number of days in between two different date ranges, we have the function called moment.duration. So in this moment.duration, you have to pass some parameters. The first one is to date. So because it is the next date, so first you have to write to date dot difference. In this you have to write from date. So it is calculating the difference between to date and from date, and it is going to give the duration. Control S. So moment is not defined, so I am going to write here import moment, import moment from moment. So here you should not research the logics, because we have to follow the documentation only. So if you want to calculate the difference between two dates, number of days between two dates, so this is the function you are going to use, moment.duration. In that moment.duration, you have to write to date dot def is the function, and in this you have to write from date. So let's see, let's apply this total days to the variable. So where it is total days, here you can see. Now I am going to write total days. Let's select two dates. I am going to select 16th to 19th. So there are total 4 days. Difference is 3, but the total days are 4. Now I am going to click on book now. So to date dot diff is not a function. I think we are getting an error. Let me check it. Booking screen, where it is. So here the mistake is we are assigning the dates directly. So we should not assign the dates directly. So every time whenever you are using any date, first you have to convert that date to the moment. So then only you can perform the moment functions. So copy this moment of dot format. Sorry, here we are not converting, we are just assigning. So if you want to assign, you have to use format in these parentheses only. or you can directly use the direct format also, that's not a problem. So to specify formats, you have two choices. So you can use direct, you can put here in this parenthesis comma and you can specify the format, or if you want to use direct format function also, you can use it. So in the previous page we have used it like this way, so here also I'm going to use the same way. So copy it, moment match.params.toDate dot format, same ddmmyy. So now you can perform any movement operations to this from date and to date. So if these variables are in the movement objects, then only you can perform the movement functions. So that's the reason previously we got error. So this time I think we should not get any errors. So const total days is equal to movement.duration, and here you have to specify one more thing. We are calculating total days. So in this duration you have to specify the second parameter as days. Yeah, then only it will give the days. Refresh. Let's go to the home screen, refresh the page. Home, book now. Sorry, we have not selected dates. So 17 to 19, click on book now. So again we are getting the same error. I think while assigning the date we should not use the format. You have to specify the format in the parenthesis only. That's the reason it is raising error. So just specify inside only dot ddmmyy. So while converting only you have to use that format function. So other than you have to use like this only. Yeah, refresh. Objects are not valid as React. What the hell is this? Refresh. So this is the time wastage, I think. 16 to 22, book now. What the hell, man? Again it is objects are not valid as React child, find object keys. Where it is collapsing? Let me check all the errors and I'll come back. Sorry guys, it is my mistake only. So here you should not mention days in this movement.duration. You have to specify out of this function. So I have referred the documentation, so I found the error. So at the last you have to specify as days. So you have to convert this duration as days. Control S. So now this time it should work. Yeah, here you can see it is showing. So from 16th to 22 we have total difference of 6. 22 minus 16, 6. But here we should not show like this. So you have to include 16 also. So let me show you another example. So this is the mistake everyone will do. So I am selecting 17 to 19. So here the total days the user is selecting is 3, 17, 18, 19. But the difference is 2 only. So this is the problem while which everyone will do in the hotel booking. So if you click on book now, it will show only total days is equal to 2. So you should not show total days is equal to 2. You have to show 3. So that's the reason here you have to use +1. So then you cannot get this problem. Refresh. Here you can see. So 17, 18, 19. So the total days is equal to 3. So like this you have to perform the dates operations. So it's not completed guys, still we have some more date functions. So in the further lectures we are going to discuss about this. So I think it's been almost 28 minutes this video. This is the, I think as of now this is the longest video in this course. So because we are dealing with the hotel booking application, so dates and dates filtering is mandatory. So that's the reason I have kept this much time for this video only. So I understand you have many queries in this lecture. So if you have any queries you can ask freely in the Q&A section, because when I was doing this project also I have faced lots of mistakes and lots of errors while preparing this project. So that's not a problem. I know you will also get lots of errors, so you can ask me freely. So if you don't want to ask me, you can refer the movement.js documentation and the entity date range picker documentation. So this is the only thing you can do. Thank you. In the next lecture, we are going to create the booking model. So first you have to store the bookings in the bookings model, then you can retrieve it from the database. Thank you. See you in the next class.